Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of our 3-day challenge. And first, I must say, I hope you have your homework done, all right? Because I really want you to focus on you for this time. Um, Focus on and where you want to be. It's time for us to get real with ourselves, to really be fearless, because it's difficult when we want to transform. All right, because we're used to being who we are, doing the things that we do in the same way, and so on. So transformation is not easy, but it is the most epic journey you can ever embark on. All right, getting to know yourself. And today we're talking about authentically you. I think this is one of my most exciting topics when I talk about us just being authentically who we are. Um, so I hope that comes through in the energy, right? So in this one, we're going to cover. Sorry, I'm just trying to move things around so I can see the screen properly. Let's try that. Okay. So in this one, we're going to talk about what prevents you from living your absolute best life, and then I'm going to give you some steps that you can implement over the next 30 days to set your authentic self free, because it's not something we have to become. It's something that we've got to let go of all the stuff that is not us so that our authentic self begins to shine. Okay. And if you're with me right till the end, I'm going to give you a very special offer. So you are meant to thrive. I want you to really feel into that for a moment. Like, put your hands over your heart and feel into this. I am meant to thrive. How does that make you feel? Sometimes it can make you feel really excited, expansive, and sometimes it could even make you feel a little bit fearful, or it could make you feel sad because if you feel I've not been thriving, um, why is my life not the way I've had dreamt that it was going to be, right? So just feel into that for a moment. You are meant to thrive. So we want to start off by taking 100% responsibility for ourselves. Complete, total 100% responsibility, right? That means that we have to let go of blame, and we have to let go of all of our excuses. That means all the good that's in our life, if we're going to take responsibility for that, we also have to take responsibility for all the challenges that are in our life as well. That is how powerful you are as a creator. But when we create unconsciously, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not great. All right. So part of this journey is us becoming more conscious so that when we realize that my thoughts, my beliefs, my emotions, my actions, all of it is creating my reality. Now we're going to start becoming super conscious of those things, knowing that that is going to be creating. That's how powerful you are. So let's look at the blame game, right? If we're going to release all the blame, so nobody is to blame for any of the stuff that is in our lives now. And I know right now some of you may be saying, oh, Cass, but you don't know my ex, right? All the things that they've done to me. So just for a moment, I want you to just come fully into the present moment and say, okay, let's talk about relationships. Who are we blaming for the relationships that we're in? Or the lack of a relationship for that matter, right? Because very often I hear women who are single saying, all the good ones are taken. And men today don't want commitment, or men today only want one thing. So we are kind of like blaming men for the fact that we are single. And then also there's men saying, oh, women are too demanding, women don't know what they want. So they are blaming women for the fact that they are single. All right. Can you see how disempowering this is? So if you're in a relationship and your partner's not meeting your expectations, and you're not having the deep conversations about it, but you're just annoyed and you complain to your friends, but you're not really taking action to change anything. And you, in your mind, you say, oh, well, what's the point? Or, well, we've been together all this time. Nothing's really going to change. I'm just used to it now. I'm just going to let it be. Or I don't want to bring it up because it's going to lead to an argument. Can you see we're blaming for the state that we're in? And can you see that is really, really powerless? Because it means that if someone else is to blame for your circumstances, then that person has to change in order for you to be happy. Can you see that that is giving your power away? But if you're taking 100% responsibility, then you're saying, I am the creator of my reality. And if I want this to be different, then I'm going to create it differently, right? And let's look then at the finances. Who are we blaming for the state of our finances? Okay, maybe there was some point we invested a lot of money somewhere and we lost it. So we're blaming those people, that company, whatever. Maybe you lent money to someone and they didn't return it and we're blaming them. And on a larger scale, we blame the economy. It's the economy that we're in, okay? But in the worst of economies, there are always people that are thriving. So we need to make a decision. If I take 100% responsibility for my finances, then I can shift it. But if it's up to the economy to shift before my finances shift, then I'm powerless and I can't do anything about that. All right. And then what about our health? Who is in charge of your health? Now, I'm not a doctor and I don't give medical advice, right? So don't go and get off your medication because of something that I say here. When you live consciously, you take what appeals to you and the rest of it you go and question, and that's perfectly fine, right? So very often you'll find that there's something called the nocebo effect. So we all heard of the placebo effect, right? So the placebo is when you have an illness and then they give you something that has no properties. It cannot heal you at all, but it's like a sugar pill. And they say this is the cure for what you have. And because we believe, we're looking at the doctor that's giving it to us and that's an authority figure. And because we believe in this person, we believe that this pill is going to heal us. And as a result of the belief, we actually heal. Okay, there's been numerous studies done on the placebo effect. The nocebo effect is when a doctor says to you, you have this illness and you have 6 months to live, or you have this illness and these are all the side effects. This is what's going to happen to you over the next year or two. And as a result of taking that in and believing that, that's exactly what happens. All right. When I'll take my father as an example of it. My father had leukemia, and the doctor said to him when he was diagnosed, "You have 6 months." And if I tell you, from the day that he heard that, 6 months later he was gone. All right. And when I heard of the nocebo effect after that, I always questioned that, had the doctor not said that to him, would his mindset have been different? Okay. And it's not just that. If you look at your health, for example, let's take something common like high blood pressure. That's a very common thing, right? So as soon as you're diagnosed with high blood pressure, you're given this medication to take for the rest of your life. And we don't question it. We just take it, oh, I've got to take this for the rest of my life, you know, and they also put fear into you that if you don't take it, you're going to get a stroke and on and on. But and I'm not telling you to get off your medication, right? But what I am saying to you is when we live consciously and we take 100% responsibility for ourselves, then we also go and do the research and say, is there something I can take that's more natural, right? That will then control this blood pressure issues. Can I go and see what is actually causing this? What is underneath this that is causing this? And can I fix it at the root? So high blood pressure, when we look at the emotional cause, so every single ailment has an emotional cause. And high blood pressure, the cause of it is unhealed emotional pain. So there's something that is long standing. So you could have experienced this somewhere in your childhood or in your teens or something. It's a long standing emotional issue that you have not healed. And because it's long standing over time, the result of that is high blood pressure. Okay. If you take something like cancer, which is also very, very common, right? The underlying cause of cancer is resentment. So we've been hurt and we resent people for that, and we hold on to this resentment for years and years and years. Eventually, it turns into cancer in the body. So, can you see when you start living consciously and you take 100% responsibility for yourself, then you actually go and find out what's underneath this and what can I do to shift and to change this? All right. Um, Then let's go and look at excuses because we said if we're taking 100% responsibility for ourselves, we've got to completely let go of blame. So we can't blame other people, but then we can't make excuses for ourselves either. All right. So usually we're making excuses when we feel stuck. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's the next step, or I don't care. Nobody cares. No one cares about me. That's when we get stuck. So at this point, I'm asking you to be very real with yourself. Look at the areas in your life where you are stuck, right? Where you feel, I want a better relationship, or I want my finances to be better, or I want my health to be better, or I want more freedom, I want more joy, I want time to really connect with my friends and family. Whatever it is you want and you feel that you don't have it right now, get real with yourself and ask yourself, why is it that I'm not letting this in? Which is very different from chasing, right? Why am I not letting it in? Remember, in 2 sessions, we've spoken about the feminine energy, where the masculine is giving and doing, it's outward, and the feminine is open to receiving, right? So if that feminine energy is blocked, that means we're not open to receiving. Okay, so am I complaining but not making changes? Um, there are so many conversations with friends where instead of talking to our partner, we're talking about them. Okay, so we complain about all the things they're doing wrong. We complain about why they're not doing the things we want them to do. All right. But unless we stop and say, I'm not happy with the state of this relationship, so I'm going to learn a better way of creating relationships. I'm going to learn to communicate on a deeper level. I'm going to learn how to resolve conflict. I'm going to learn how to get my needs met. I'm going to learn. Can you see? When we go deeper and we start, that means I'm becoming a better version of myself so that I can then have those conversations, so that I can then make the changes that are necessary. But if we're spending our time complaining, then we're not really making changes. All right. That's not taking 100% responsibility. Then let's look at the past. Are we making excuses about moving forward because we have pain from the past? So it could be grief because you've lost someone you really love, could be a parent, a partner, a child, a sibling, a best friend. Have you sat with that grief, sat with that pain, felt it, and released that and moved through it? We can't move around it. We can't go over it. We have to move through it. Maybe there was a betrayal, so you haven't yet forgiven. And you're sitting with that and you're saying, I can't because, and you're giving all the reasons why you can't move forward. I want to start a new business, but I don't have the money. I don't have the know-how. I don't have the support. I don't have the right products. Can you see if we're doing that, then we're not really moving forward because we're making all the excuses. Um, What about unmet expectations? Are you in a place where you had, when you start a new business, we have these great expectations. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to go and change the world. And if it doesn't work out, that's the unmet expectations. When we meet a new partner in that falling in love phase, oh, this is going to be phenomenal. This is my soulmate. We're going to live happily ever after. And when that doesn't happen, there's the unmet expectations again. So when we have this, it prevents us from moving forward because we say, well, I've been hurt before. I don't want to get hurt again. Right? I lost all my money before. I don't want to do that again. So can you see, we make decisions for the future based on the past if we have not healed the past. So in terms of moving forward, get this out of the way. Okay. In terms of moving forward, the first thing that has to happen is healing. And I was listening to a podcast the other day where the host was saying they had done some research and they found that 95% of all people do not heal between relationships. So they come out of one relationship, they do not do the healing work, and they're looking for another partner. So we think that that partner was the problem. And if I find the right partner, then I'm going to live happily ever after. But they've not really done the healing work within. And in that case, we're going to attract another and another and another partner that's going to bring us the same issues, right? So the healing work, that part is crucially important. Instead of consumption, because we live in a world where if I'm sad, then I'm going to go eat a tub of ice cream. Or if I'm feeling anxious about something, or if I'm feeling down, I'm going to go on a shopping spree, right? If I don't like where I am, I'm going to buy something. I'm going to go on this holiday to escape the stress of my life as it is right now. Can you see we live in a world where consumption is prioritized? And it's in our faces all the time, right? We have advertisements being thrown at us all the time. So when we become aware and we start living consciously, we realize that if I'm angry, if I'm sad, if I'm anxious, if things are not going my way, then the answer is not in me consuming more. The answer is in me going within myself. So whatever supports that journey of me becoming that better version of myself, the learning and the growing, that is where I will invest my time, energy, and money, not in the consumption. All right. And then when we move forward, yesterday I showed you the emotional scale or the consciousness scale where the emotions had frequencies. So our goal is to elevate our frequency, but to do that authentically. I don't believe in positive thinking as the answer to fix our problems. Because if you have a problem, an issue in your life, that issue is there as an opportunity for you to grow. So if you're going to use positive thinking, so I'm in a financial crisis right now. My rent hasn't been paid, and I'm sitting there and saying, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Okay. So can you see that is not actually going to fix the problem? The problem is, why are you in debt in the first place? Can I go within myself and say, are my thoughts aligned with prosperity? Are my emotions aligned with prosperity? What is blocking my prosperity from coming in? What actions can I take to shift this? So when we do that work, then we do the affirmations, then it works. That's when we use positive thinking, right? After we've removed the blocks, we come into a neutral place. Now we want to create. That's when we use affirmations, and it really, really works at that point. Okay. So elevating the frequency. Another way that I find that people make strides in life is when they're living from purpose. So we spoke about this yesterday, right? A soul purpose, not just thinking my job is my purpose and as long as I'm doing a good job, but it is your soul purpose is always something bigger. It's always something where I am serving humanity through my work, through my hobbies, or through my initiatives that I take whatever it is, but I'm using my talents, my gifts, my passion. I'm using all of that to be of service. That's when you're living your life on purpose. And when we do that, the money is something that comes automatically because your frequency is so high when you're living your life on purpose and with passion, right? And the last thing in terms of moving forward is ask for support. The same mind that created the problem cannot solve the problem. That was Einstein that said that. So if I created a problem, it's my thoughts, my emotions, my actions, my beliefs that created that problem. So now that same mind can't solve the problem. I need new thinking. I need a new perspective. I need new tools, new um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Whether it's techniques, whatever, I need something new so that I can solve the problem. So, can you see each time a problem is thrown at you, it's an opportunity for you to grow into the next best version of yourself. That's why we came here, okay? We didn't come to breathe the air and take up space. We came here to grow, to know ourselves, to become the best version of ourselves. And we can either do it consciously or unconsciously. I'll cover that in a moment. So, when we're ready for the change in our lives, it's about taking inspired action. The old way, the masculine way is you got to work hard. It's the grind. You've got to put in the hours. You've got to sacrifice and all of that to be able to create success in your life. But now that you understand the masculine and feminine energies, the first thing we do when we want change in any area of our lives is to tap into that inner feminine energy. It's dropping from the head into the heart because the heart energy, like I said, 10,000 times stronger. So when we tap into the heart energy, when we tap into our intuition, our inner guidance, we'll never be led astray by that. So when we go quiet and we go within, we're tapping into that energy, we're asking the questions. What's my next step? What's the best thing for me to do going forward? And then when we get this intuitive hit, then we say, okay, I need to try that. I need to go here. I need to speak to this person. I need to put out this post, this advertisement, whatever. That comes from the inner guidance. All right. So don't overwhelm yourself. I know sometimes we say, I want to radically shift my whole life in the next 30 days. Mm. And what happens when we want to change every single area of your life? So I'm going to work on my relationships, my finances, my health, my freedom, my joy, my everything. I want to work on all of it at the same time. It can become quite overwhelming. And the chances of you giving up is great. It's like January is the busiest month in the gym. Okay, so everybody signs up for gym in January and they're going to go to gym 7 days a week and they're going to really change their health and so on. By the third week of January, it's gone back to the way it was the previous year. So that's how long the New Year resolutions last, right? 3 weeks. Um, so let's take that as an example. Let's say you want to lose some weight, you want to get fit, healthy, strong, and so on. You want to heal your body. So if you're saying, I want to lose 10 kg in the next 30 days, that kind of like puts you under a lot of pressure. And I'm not saying people have not done it. People have done it, but have they done it and kept it off? All right. So when we do it differently and we say, okay, so I've put on all this weight. Let me get real with myself and ask myself why. Um, what's going on in my mind? What are my stress levels like? What are my emotions like? What food am I putting in my body? Am I exercising or not? So we get real with ourselves first. And then we set a goal for ourselves and we say, I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to be able to climb the stairs easily. I want to be able to, whether you want to run a marathon, whatever it is for you, it's got to be personal, right? And then you say, okay, so in order for me to do that, how do I align my thoughts with that goal? How do I align my emotions with that goal? How do I align my actions with that goal? Can you see now you're setting yourself up for permanent change rather than short term? I get the change and then things go back to the way it was before. Okay. The secret to happiness is progress. It's not achieving a goal. Because when you achieve a goal, I want you to notice the goals you've achieved in your life in the past and notice the goals you achieve now. And you'll see that when you achieve a goal, it's great, it's fantastic, it's a celebration. But 2 days after that, you've forgotten that. And your mind is going to what next? And that is natural. It's natural because we came here to create. We didn't come here to achieve a goal and then it's a full stop. We're not going to stop. It's what's next for me? What else am I going to do? Okay. So that's how our mind works. So if we can look at the journey and compliment ourselves along the journey, then we're happy because we're making progress, right? So if I set a goal for myself and I do some of these 30-day challenges every now and then where I say, okay, I'm not going to have sugar for the next 30 days. So after day one, I've had no sugar at all, and I go, "Wow, that was amazing! Well done, Cass." So can you see, I'm happy because I made progress. I'm not waiting until day number 30 to say, "Well done, Cass." All right. So as you go along the way, when you make it to week one and you've done that without having any sugar, now you're going to really celebrate yourself even more. Can you see the happiness, the joy is in the journey? All right. And so can you take small steps, but consistently? So if you want to lose whatever weight, you're not going to say, I'm going to lose this amount of weight in this amount of time, but rather say, I want to be fit, healthy, strong. I want to feel alive. I want to feel in love with life again. I want to go on a hike. I want to play with my kids or grandkids. And so have these things that are part of your life that you want to do. Okay, it's not external, it is specific to you, your life. Because yesterday, when we spoke about success, we said, what is your definition of success? Not what the world's definition is, but yours. What is that thing that's going to make you feel whole, complete, happy, joyous with your life on purpose, right? What are those things? That is your definition of success. So, our ultimate purpose is to know yourself, right? We would have heard this many times before, know thyself. So that is the ultimate purpose that all of us have in common. It is to know ourselves. Then we have our individual purpose that's based on our soul's choices for this lifetime. So when we look at the ultimate purpose, to know yourself, this journey is just so incredible. And it's not a journey that okay, I'm going to do this for 30 days or 60 days or 1 year. It's a journey that you walk for the rest of your life. But it is such an incredible journey because you're just finding out new things about yourself as you observe and you shift things and you see all the good that's in you. And then you see the things you've got to tweak. And when you can be kind and compassionate with yourself, it's truly an incredible journey. Um, so it is to know ourselves as the creator of our reality. Okay. And when we're doing this, we're tapping into a higher power, whatever that is for you, the universe, source, God, whatever religion you are, whatever that is for you, that energy, that power resides within you as well, is flowing through you constantly. But most of the time, we're not connected with it. We don't even know it's there. Sometimes we go through something called the dark night of the soul. And the symptoms of that is you feel completely disconnected. You feel this deep sense of sadness, depression, loneliness. You feel like nothing's working in your life. You don't want to talk to people. You just want to be left alone. If you can sit in a dark corner and be under the covers, that's what you want to do. That's called the dark night of the soul, and that happens when you are ready for massive shift in your life, but you're not doing it. Okay, you don't have to go through a dark night of the soul if you are living consciously and you say, I'm here, I'm present, I'm here to grow, to learn, to evolve, to become the best version of myself, to know who I am, to know what I'm capable of. If you show up in that way, you don't need major challenges in your life. The challenges only come when your soul wants you to grow, but you are not growing. Right? So you're making the excuses and you're blaming everybody else. And when you're doing that, you're not growing. So your soul is going to say, well, if life carries on the way it is, you're going to spend the rest of your life in this kind of limbo. And that's not what you came here for. You came here to create. All right. So I'm going to throw you a challenge, and that challenge is going to be difficult. So it wakes you up and gets you to ask the questions: who am I? Why am I here? Why am I experiencing this right now? How can I solve this? Right. So that's when we learn, we grow, we evolve. So when we say, I'm coming willingly, I'm willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to evolve, you don't need those big, massive challenges thrown at you any longer. All right. And the good question to always be asking is, what's underneath the challenge? Um, so it's not just that I have this ailment. I have this ailment, yes, but what's underneath it? What's causing this? What am I afraid of? So if we're not letting love in, ask yourself, why am I not letting love in? I'm a good person. I have a lot to offer. I look fairly decent, you know, so I have good manners. So why am I not letting love in? What is going on? So when we go underneath and we say, okay, you know, that person said to me, when that person left, they said to me, I can't handle being with you anymore. You are too much, or you are not good enough. They said something and that hurt and it stung. And so I shut down. So when I realized that and I say, okay, I've got to heal that, that's their opinion. That doesn't make it true. So I've got to release that. I've got to let go of that. I've got to come into the space where I know I'm this amazing person. I've got so much love to give, and start opening your heart and feeling the love. Can you say when we go underneath, that is how we are growing. And then when you get to this point where I'm just overflowing with love, that's the time that you will attract your most ideal partner. All right. So in knowing ourselves, our purpose here is to master ourselves. And we do that by mastering our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, our beliefs. When we master that, we master our destiny. So I want to just look at the difference between motivation and transformation, right? So motivation is like a quick fix. This is the positive thinking that I'm talking about. So before you've done any work and you're feeling like, you know, I'm feeling a bit down and I don't know what's going on in my life. And okay, fine, I'm just going to be positive. I'm going to go and dance. I'm going to put some music on, or I'm going to now start saying positive affirmations. They're quick fixes because it gives you temporary relief, or it gives you a temporary sense of elation. But that's what I call a false breakthrough, because for that moment, you feel good, you feel elevated, you feel, you know, I can do anything. But the next morning, that motivation's gone and nothing in your life has actually changed. Okay. So we don't want to look, motivation is fine if you want to shift your energy in the moment. But what we want genuinely for ourselves is transformation. So this is the internal shifts that we make by shifting our mindset, looking at all the beliefs that are actually not aligned with our best life, and saying, no, that's got to go, that's got to go. This I can replace, this I can replace, right? So when we make that shift, and you get to a point where it's really difficult for you to have negative thoughts because you've conditioned your mind, you've rewired your brain now to think in a different way, to think aligned with what it is you want to create. Okay, that kind of genuine transformation, when we go within and we heal the emotional wounds, then we can feel the love, feel the joy, feel the gratitude, feel the peace. These are the high frequency emotions. And we can feel that when we release all that is not us. When we are in a state of anger and fear and guilt and shame and all of that. That is not who we are. All right. That is what we've taken on because we give life meaning. So life is happening and we have a certain perspective. Let's say, for example, we talk about skydiving, right? So, some of you that are listening to this, when I say skydiving, for you, it's a thrill, it's excitement, it's adventure. And then for some of you that are listening to this, it's sheer terror, right? Because you're afraid of heights, so you're afraid of that free fall. So, can you see skydiving is actually neutral? But it is the meaning we give to it that determines our experience. And that is what life is. So when it's our thoughts and emotions that we give to something creates our experience of it. Can you see that? Um, when we're doing these internal shifts, we see physical shifts in our lives. So physically, the body is shifting. Physically, your bank account is shifting, right? Your relationships are starting to shift. Now you can see deeper connection, open communication. You're growing together. You have a common vision for what you want to create together. You're walking this path together. So when we transform, we need to see the effect of the transformation in our lives. That is the proof of transformation. Okay? It leads to permanent change. So, for us to start this journey and truly transform our lives, we've got to make strong decisions. We can't say, oh, it would be nice, if I had a truly loving relationship. Oh, it would be nice to be rich, right? Can you see how weak that is? You've got to make really strong decisions. It's like, do I want to be part of the problem or do I want to be part of the solution? Because I can sit and complain about something and then I'm a part of the problem. Okay. Or I can say, this challenge has come to me to challenge me and grow me to the next level. So how can I grow? What can I shift? Okay. The most of you may have heard of the hero's journey before. So the hero's journey is you have this big challenge in your life, and then you leave everything behind, and you go on this journey, and you're searching for the answers, and then you find a mentor, and this mentor then gives you the direction, and then you follow the guidance and the direction, and then you eventually are triumphant. That's the hero's journey. The shero's journey goes within. So we're not on an outward journey. We go within, we go inside of ourselves and we ask those deeper questions. We shift internally, and those things in our lives begin to shift externally, right? Um, if we worry, if we're in a state of anxiety, it has never solved challenges. Only empowering yourself to be the next best version of yourself will help you overcome the challenges. When you say, I choose to awaken to a higher truth, and that higher truth is there, it's available all the time. Like I said, source energy is available to us all of the time. Abundance is flowing all of the time. Love is flowing all of the time. But are we open to that? Are we tuned into the frequency of love or the frequency of abundance or the frequency of health? Or are we more invested in sickness and disease? Are we more invested in struggle? Right? Where do we want to put our time, our energy, our money, our focus? Where do we want to put that? I choose to elevate my frequency. That is the power that you have inside of yourself. When you make a strong decision, right? Those low frequency emotions, that's you feeding the darkness. Okay. And I don't know if you want to do that. But when we feel emotions like love and joy and gratitude and peace, then we're feeding the light. Then we're expanding our energy. And suddenly you become visible. When you expand your energy, you are visible. So when people say to me, they can't find the right partner, and I say, but okay, what are you doing to find the right partner? Are you dating? Are you going on? Oh, no, no, no. I don't like the dating apps. And I don't meet anyone because I go to work and then I come home and, I'm with my family on the weekends. Can you see the thoughts, the energy, the actions are completely misaligned with you finding love? right? But when you can focus on yourself and you come to the place where you fall in love with yourself, suddenly you're radiating a frequency of love. And wherever you are, people will notice you because you're radiating that frequency. Okay. And that's how you attract the partner. Now, I'm saying this not that every person that's single has to have a partner. Um, a lot of people I know are quite happy being single. They look around and they say, you know, I like my life. I like what I've created. I love my home. I love my career or my business. I'm being of service in the world, and I like this life. And that's perfectly okay. It's a very individual choice. Okay. Can we say, I choose to be of service in the world? Because that is what gives life meaning. If we are living our lives and we don't impact anybody and we've, you know, only interested in what we can get, but not how we can serve, then that is a very small, tiny little life. You are here to thrive. You are not here to play small. All right. So when we are of service in the world, that is what gives life true meaning. So stepping into becoming authentically you. In order to do that, you've got to let the old version of you die. That sounds really scary, right? But who wants to hold on to a version of ourselves that's playing small, a version that's complaining, a version that's, you know, afraid to go out in the world, afraid to do anything differently? At the end of our lives, we don't regret the things we've done. Even if we did something and we failed and we made a mistake, we don't regret that. We regret all of the things we did not do, all of the opportunities we did not take. That's what we regret the most. So you have a choice right now. How do you want to step into the most authentic version of yourself? The difficult way is when we live unconsciously. So we go through life. I'm not learning, I'm not growing, and life will throw you challenge after challenge after challenge. And each one is going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more in your face, a little bit louder, because if you don't pay attention, it's got to get your attention by being a little bit bigger. So the issues get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's at a point where I can't ignore this anymore. All right. And that's how physical ailments happen. So initially, it comes to you on a spiritual level, it's a whisper. You know, it's a whisper from your soul to say, go in this direction, try this. Or if you have a dream of creating something, that's your soul whispering to you to say, that's your potential. That's what you're capable of creating, right? And if we don't listen, then we'll find that it comes into the mind level where the mind gets busy, busy, busy until the mind is overwhelmed and it's like, all these thoughts and I can't stop these thoughts. And if we still don't pay attention to the lessons coming, it will come into the emotional level. This is where we go into, some people go into rage, some people go into sadness and depression and so on. And if we still don't listen, then it has to come into the densest of the four levels, which is the physical body. And when it appears in the physical body as an ailment, you can't ignore it any longer. Can you see that? But if we choose to live consciously, then the whole journey of learning, growing, evolving can actually be fun. It can be the most interesting, most compelling journey you can ever go on. But that is your choice. And right now, what's happening on the planet is that more and more people are awakening to their own power, to higher truths, to who they are, to what they're capable of. And if you don't, then you're going to get hit on the head. All right. You're going to get the bigger and bigger challenges coming. I would rather go voluntarily. That is the easier way, right? Um, a lot of the time, you know, when it comes to us being authentic, we don't want to be fully authentic because we want to fit in. What if I give my opinions? What if I do the things I want to do and then people are not approving of that? My family might not like that. My partner might not like that. You know, they may not like that at work. So we want to fit in. But Authenticity cannot fit in. You cannot put this into a box and say that's where you fit in. So instead of us looking for the approval from outside of ourselves, can we approve of ourselves? Instead of looking for love on the outside, can we love ourselves? Instead of hoping that somebody one day is going to validate you, can we validate ourselves? Because when we're looking for it externally, that's when we become the people pleasers, right? Oh, please like me. And if you don't like me, I'll try harder, I'll do more, I'll give more. So that one day, maybe my mother is going to say, good boy, good girl. Okay. So when we're searching for the validation and the approval from the outside, we will never become authentically who we are. But if you can give all these things that you need to yourself, now you can give yourself permission to be authentically you, right? Our purpose is to create heaven on earth. That is why you came here. It's not a place you go to after you die. You created right here where you are. So are you living right now in heaven or in hell? That is a choice that we make. All right? Okay. So I promised you I was going to give you a special offer at the end of this. And my offer is I have a free assessment that I do. It will take you 5 minutes to complete, and it should not take you longer than that because it's not something I want you to think about. I want you to just answer on the button. Quick, 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 answer the questions. So this assessment will tell you if you have excessive, balanced, or wounded masculine and excessive, balanced, or wounded feminine energy. And when you can see that, then you know the areas of your life that you need to work on. So I'll email it to you, you fill it out, email it back to me, and then we can set up a 30-minute Zoom session where I will go through the answers with you and I'll give you an idea of what you need to do to start coming into a place of masculine, feminine balance and wholeness. All right. And of course, we have to get to the challenge because that is what this is. So the challenge. You're going to pick one area of your life that you want to transform. So, like I said, don't make it everything. The chances are you'll give up sooner or later. One thing at a time. And the good thing about focusing on one area of your life is when you put energy into one area of your life, it's going to impact every other area regardless. Okay. When you put focus on improving your relationship and now you're happier, you're feeling freer, you're feeling the love flowing between the two of you. When you do that, it definitely impacts your work. It definitely impacts all your other relationships. It impacts your health. Can you see that? So you pick whatever area, and as you work on it, it will impact the other areas regardless. So choose the area of your life that you want to transform. And then I want you to go and describe it in detail. Like if it's a health thing and you say, I have this ailment and I want to heal my body. So go and write it in detail. Don't talk about the problem too much. Talk about the solution and what it's going to look like if you were already healed. All right. If it's finding a partner, don't talk about all the reasons why you can't. Those are the excuses. I want you to talk about what it would feel like to already have the relationship. So create the vision of the outcome that you want to create. So once you've described that in detail, then go and align your thoughts with that. So if you're saying you want to create more health and well-being, then your aligned thoughts will be like, I take care of myself. I'm conscious about the food that I put into my body. I choose healthier foods. I love exercising my body. I love moving, whether it's dance or whether it's really going to the gym or it's walking or it's just being in nature, whatever it is, it must be aligned to you specifically, right? And then can I align my emotions? That means what would it feel like if you already had that? So go in, close your eyes, see it. So remember the manifestation, think it, see it, feel it. So there's the thoughts, there's the emotion, and then visualize it, see it. So can I see myself as if I've already achieved this? And when you can see that, then you ask, what action steps can I take to lead me to that outcome? Okay, so we're using the feminine energy, and then when we get our answer on what action step, now we're using our masculine energy to go out and take action on that. All right. So every morning you're going to read through this. There's my vision. You're going to feel what that feels like. You're going to have the thoughts, the emotions, all of that. And then during the day, you can set reminders. Sometimes you can set a reminder on your phone to go off every hour on the hour. And as soon as that goes off, you say, oh, okay, right, my vision. I'm focusing on my vision and I'm moving in the direction of what it is I want to create. And then in the evening, review your day and rate it, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did I do? My thoughts, were they aligned with my vision? Were my emotions aligned? Were my actions aligned to that vision that I had? All right, so that's going to be your homework. Okay, here we are. Can we have like for a minute, everybody put their cameras on? I would love to see you. You seeing me. I would love to see you too. All right. So if you've got any questions, any comments, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask comments, questions, takeaways, any of that. Renal, how about you?
I guess, yeah, no, all good stuff. I've been to a lot of your causes. Um, I've still got takeaway points from this cause, which I've made notes of. So my challenge, I've got on my other screen here, is to detail my whole fitness thing because I've been leaving that aside, and I can just see how it's going to tie back up, and how it will impact the other parts of my life as well.
Beautiful, beautiful, Reno. Wonderful. And I'd like to know 30 days from now how that went, eh?
Thanks. I will let you know, guys.
Right. Dave, you're on mute.
I guess, yeah.
Hello.
I think the big takeaway is that life is a journey; it's not a destination, and really, your road to happiness is progress and transformation, and that's really what you got to look at is the internal transformation in terms of your life's journey.
Wonderful. And I'd like to know what your 30-day challenge is at the end of the 30 days to see how it went for you. Anybody else? You can send it to me privately if you want. All right. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for being here, especially those of you that have been here all 3 days. It's really been wonderful to have you. And anybody that's watching the recordings of this, take advantage of the free assessment that most people, when I do the free assessment, they ask me if I'm psychic because the results are so, so accurate on that. Okay. So, yeah, take advantage of that. If you want to further your journey, your coaching journey, and, if it's the area of relationships, so it's the area of finance that you want to shift, then we can chat about it in that 30-minute session as well. All right. Right. Someone says, I have to understand that I have to value myself more. That is so beautiful. I'm worthy. That is so beautiful. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Have a great evening.